All right, welcome to month 4 of going from $205 to $100,000. Let's see where we're at.
I wanna live off the dividends.
If you miss month 1, we started at $205. Check out that video. Month 2, we got to, I think, 636 videos. That's month 2 right there. And month 3 was last month. We got up to $1,240. That video is right there. Month 4. Well, this month, before we get to that, let's talk about the $1,240. Did it grow at all? Well, it did. It did grow. The problem is it then shrank. So at the end of probably in the middle of December, that $1,240 had grown by about $10. It was up to about $1,250. And then by the very last day of December, December 31st, it had shrank back down to $1,240. So we ended up at the end of December, we ended up at $1,240. Now for the month of December, we got $589 to add to the $1,240. So between month 1 and month 2, the money grew by $4. The $205 grew by $4. Month 2 to month 3, the money grew by $8. Month 3 to month 4, you can see it grew by $0. That happens sometimes, that's the market. The good news is, though, I'm recording this on January 13th, and that money has grown by about $25 in the first 2 weeks of January. So it could be the same thing to where by the end of the month, it hasn't grown at all, or it may double, or it may stay on the same track and grow by $25. But I did look at it today, and it was up $25. So instead of $1,240, it was $1,265. Okay, but to be honest, at the end of the month, it hadn't grown. It grew, and then it came back down. So we got to stick with that. So we'll save the growth for next month. But that's where we're at right now, or at the end of December, I should say, was still $1,240. Okay, then we add the bonus of $589, and our grand total is $1,829. Okay, so you'll remember from the last video that I talked about when I get to $1,589, that will equal 1 day of my portfolio covering 1 day per year of my expenses, which is a small thing, I know, but it's still something to go, okay, we're headed in the right direction. So passing $1,589 means my portfolio right now, we've only been doing this for 4 months, and my portfolio covers 1 day of my expenses for the next, say, 20 or 30 years. So that's pretty cool. Now, of course, the first big goal is $12,000. When we get to $12,000, that will cover 1 week of my expenses. You'll remember that our house got paid off, and so my expenses are about $29,000 per year. And so based on a 5% draw, which would be you take $29,000 and you multiply it by 20, that equals $580,000. That would be my FI number for a 5% draw. The more conservative is, of course, a 4% draw, but based on a 5% draw, it would be $580,000. And if you take that $580,000 and you divide it by 52 weeks, it equals about $12,000. So when I get to $12,000, I will have paid for my portfolio, will be able to handle 1 week of my expenses. And when I get to 24,000, it will cover 2 weeks of my expenses, which is pretty cool because most jobs that you have They give you a two-week paid for vacation. And what that means is not just for that year, but for the next 20, 30 years, 2 weeks of your year are basically you're financially independent for those 2 weeks per year. And then as you continue to add to that personal brokerage account, it continues to grow. Now we still have our house paid off. We still have our retirement accounts, but this is an extra personal brokerage account that I'm attempting to grow to 100,000. So that is where we're at right now, 1829. It's exciting because we'll be at over 2,000. I'm thinking in the next month. And $2,000 is at 10%. If it gains 10%, it's going to gain $200 per year, which is almost around $20 a month. So we went from getting over $1,000, which makes us about $10 a month, to very close to getting to 2,000, which will bring us $20 a month. And it's going to keep growing that way. At some point, we'll be up to $40 or $50 or $60 per month or $100 per month. When we get to 12,000, we'll be up to $100 per month, which technically could cover one of my bills per month, So depending on where you allocate your money, where you put your money to. If I have $12,000 per year, if I wanted to, I could withdraw $100 per month if you're taking the full 10%, assuming the money is making 10% and you're taking 10%. Or if it grows at 10%, you could take, that's $1,200. So you could take $100 per month. You could take your wife out to a nice restaurant, extra date per month, or you could take that $1,200 and use it toward a vacation at the end of the year. Or you could leave that money in there and let it continue to grow for you, and at a faster rate. Those options will all be up to you. So continue to follow us and keep up with us if you can on this journey to $100,000. Let's do it together. If you don't know what your FI number is, check out that video right there, and we will see you in the next video.
I wanna live off the dividends. Yeah.